hello. If you clicked on this, then you are looking to discover more about yourself. I'm trying to do this in a life coachy way and in a tarot way, so we'll see how this works. It's like an experiment for all of us, okay? I made a list of questions that I would typically use in like a life coaching session that I'm going to use on the tarot for each pile. They're all the same questions, but I'm going to just be looking at my computer screen during the readings, and yeah, like if I'm looking around, that's kind of why. They're just like as a guideline. I'm not following any specific formula here, just seeing how it goes as we go along. But I did feel kind of pulled to do this. I felt like it was a good time. Yeah, I feel like I have to burp. Me and the burping in all my readings. I swear it's only because I'm connecting to energy. That's the only time I really burp like this. So leave that what it is. I'll hold up the stones and show you which piles that there are to choose from. So if you get a feeling off of them from when I hold them up, great. But if not, I'm gonna put up a picture and you can like pause the video and meditate and choose a pile. I'll leave timestamps, and yeah, hopefully there's a message here for you, and take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And if you don't find a message here, then find peace that there's just not a message, it's fine. But I feel as though if you clicked on this, it's like literally to discover yourself, and I'm trying to not go the traditional tarot route, so let's see if we can do some like light. Your butt is not, yeah, no, thank you. I threw off the white balance. Let's see if we can do some like life coaching in the tarot reading. See how it goes. So yeah, I think I've talked enough. Here is the first pile, this desert rose. Looks like a little heart. And then here's the second pile with this sodalite. Sodalite? Yeah, sodalite. I don't know, I really like this one. I think it's cool. And then there is this honey calcite. This one's really, I know I'm not going to be able to show it on the camera, but there's a little rainbow that if you hold it at the exact right light, it shows. It's really cool. Okay, so I'll stop this here. See you in the pile that you choose and put up the picture. So yeah, bye. Hello, pile one. If you chose this desert rose, this is your reading. So yeah, I did mention this, but I am gonna look on the screen because I do have some like a little bit of a formula that I wrote out, so I'll just follow that. Let's see, so discovering yourself. So the first thing I want to look into is what makes you unique as a person. And that's really funny. I pulled this apart and I have these two cards. So I feel as though, first of all, like really powerful energy. And then also I just feel as though you kind of have this, you have this ability to touch the lives that you encounter. Like you bring hope into people's lives. It's like you inspire people in some way. I feel as though you're kind of like the friend that people really, oh, my body's getting really cool. I feel as though you're the friend that like people talk to and just like you're the calming friend. You're the calming friend. they rely on you for support. You could be a Cancerian, or I don't know. I don't usually read astrology, but I'm getting like water sign vibes, Cancerian vibes. I'm also getting Libra vibes. So take that however it resonates. What makes you unique? You have this ability to like really carry the weight of the world like on your shoulders, I'm feeling, and also just you're a very like responsible person, and you're very diligent, and you can handle a lot. I feel as though you are also capable of like building things. Like you can see something and be like, I have this vision, and then make that vision come true. And like, that's like, you know how to put the work in and the effort in to make a vision happen. I feel as though that's really there for you. And you know how to like create like success around you, and like you could have a really happy home life, a really happy family life, a really like successful relationship. You could have you just know how to create that environment. You're very and even if you don't have like, it's like your definition of success, right? Like I think that's really what's here. It's like you look at the world through a viewpoint of something that's like, oh, you just see things differently. Let's just put it that way. I also feel as though what's like something that makes you unique is that you can express yourself. You're not afraid of wearing your heart on your sleeve. Really not. I get this feeling that like with the 2 10s here, the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Wands, you have this like whole energy. Like it's just whole. Like you feel very like secure within yourself. And I feel like that's really, really beautiful. With that rainbow there, that's like really drawing my eye. I feel as though there's like a very broad spectrum to who you are as a person, and you know that. And it's like with the 10 of Wands, like you could have a bunch of different things going on in your life, but like you know how to juggle them, and you know how to just like go forward with everything you're doing. This is like really incredible energy, and I love it. There's also the Justice card, so I feel as though very balanced and very like able to manage things and handle things and be fair, and again like very have a wise perspective, see things from a very clear point of view, very logical point of view. Libra energy, I think Libra energy. I see the scale there, so I'm gonna say Libra energy. Yeah, I do feel like there's this very like stoic, very stoic energy. Protective. And I feel like it's you bringing all this into the world, you know? I feel like you have this ability to take your struggles, your pain, your frustrations, the things that you've been through in the past, the things that you've walked away from, the things that you've learned a lot from that. And it's like you're able to bring that forward and be just about it. I think that's also something that's being spoken here with the 3 of Swords. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. I like this energy. So How do you unlock your most magical qualities? Or how can you unlock your most, how can you unlock your most magical qualities? Your most magical qualities. Wow. So you have this Hierophant. So I feel like there's some sort of learning that's being done, or there's some sort of connecting to spirit in some way, or some sort of like joining a group. There's definitely like joining some sort of group, spiritual group, religious groups, institution, maybe even like some sort of work thing, because you have this Eight of Pentacles. So it could be higher learning. You could be like a professor, or you could be you could be like a teacher. You could be you could work for a school or a university. I feel like you could also be going to school. You could be in a university. You could go back to school. You could like further your education. This could go a couple of different ways. I see someone working very hard, like working very, very hard, but also being in a position where they're able to extend their knowledge, and also it's like being channeled the knowledge and like regurgitating the knowledge. Well, regurgitating is, that's what they're doing. So with this Knight of Cups, I can see that you're very creative, with also the Ten of Cups. Let's see how you can unlock your creativity, because I feel like it's blocked with the Ten of Wands. And with the Three of Swords. I feel like something has happened where the creativity is blocked. Oh boy. A wild card. Finding a muse. It's interesting. I've never seen that card like that, but that's definitely like what that's... I'm getting like tingles. Yeah, finding some sort of muse. Finding some sort of object that you can... There's a interesting energy there. I'm gonna see another card for that. How to discover your creativity. And how to unlock it. You have the Death card. Wow, these are a lot. There's a lot of major arcana. Like, this major arcana energy is intense. Yeah. The World card talks about endings and new beginnings. The Death card talks about endings and new beginnings. So there's something here about letting go of something and going in a different direction. The sun on the horizon is like really powerful there. It's like I feel as though there is some part, like, some part of you that needs to die. I don't know. I don't like saying stuff like that. But it is. It's like there's a part of you that's dying. Like, there's a part of you that's I feel as though there's some aspect of you that you've been holding on to. Maybe it's like limiting beliefs around creativity. Maybe it's maybe it's behaviors that you're, you know, like doing instead of being creative or something like that. It's like there's just something that is not fitting your life, and it's blocking your creativity, and it's needing to have this rebirth process where it's like your whole creativity, like your approach to creativity, your like just your whole approach needs to change. It's like maybe you've boxed yourself into, if I can't draw, then I'm not creative. Well, that's not, or maybe it's like you're artistic and you have one style that you've always done, and it's like you don't feel inspired to do that one style, but like there's so much else that you can create, and you're not seeing the creativity in everything you do. There's this like change of perspective there that's got to change. It's really like it's like even reading the energy, I feel blocked. It's just this total like narrow viewpoint, only seeing what's on the horizon. Like just like it reminds me of when you get car sick and you just have to look straight ahead. Like it's that feeling. That's how I feel. With the world card, I feel as though maybe travel is involved, like maybe going like for drives or something like that. I don't know, maybe that can spark your creativity or your imagination, or just maybe you like to do that. Maybe that's, yeah, I feel like you probably like to do that. I feel like that's where you get like a lot of your thinking done. Okay. 2 major arcana cards for the creativity though. So I feel as though that's a major blockage for you. But it's something that's changing. This is like something that is, you know what, you might even already have a muse. Like you might have somebody in your life who really inspires you creatively. And that person might be someone who you are able to share and like express yourself with. And hello. You wanna get in my lap? Come here. You can get in my lap. Hi. It's just somebody who you can share with and like you feel very supported by. Hello. Okay, so let's see, where do we want to take this next? There's a need to discover where you can, what am I saying? How can you discover your compassion? Because I feel as though with that, like, I remember I said there's stoic energy. It almost feels like, with the 3 of Swords, it almost feels like blocked energy. So there's this very harsh kind of like, harsh tone with yourself. So let's see how you can discover your compassion. I just saw 15, so that might be a number for you. Ooh. So the 5 of Cups, yeah, so I feel like the Knight of Cups comes up again, where it's like allowing yourself to feel your emotions and express your emotions and really be in your emotions. Hi, honey. Listen, you can be here. Yeah. But there's this 5 of Cups energy, which tells me that in order for you to discover your compassion, you have to like really allow yourself to acknowledge like the things that you have lost and acknowledge the pain that you're feeling and acknowledge your emotions in general, because like you see he's facing this river, but then also acknowledge that there's something like like this represents the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is, love and support that's around you. So you have to kind of recognize that there's this disappointment, there's this pain, there's this loss of joy, there's this intense river of emotions, right? But like behind you, you're able to turn around and gather your cups and go on. So there's even like a bridge in the background, so you're able to climb over the bridge and get over like whatever this is. So, and that's a very traditional representation of this card, but I feel like that really applies here. There's even like this firm, like, I don't know, this building back here, and I feel like that's kind of like a security that you're going into by allowing yourself to be vulnerable with yourself and like acknowledge the pain you're in and acknowledge what you're feeling and acknowledge just acknowledging it. Like, you don't have to like it. No one said you have to like it. Like, you don't have to. I mean, I'm even hearing like, I don't want to coddle it. Well, you don't have to coddle it either. You can just literally be like, okay, I acknowledge that I'm sad and that I'm mad and that I feel upset and that I'm disappointed. Like, acknowledging that you're disappointed has a lot of power behind it. And just doing that is being compassionate with yourself, because you're not being like, oh, I can't like allow myself to feel that way. I can't allow myself to feel negatively. I can't allow myself to whatever you're telling yourself. Like, I can't allow myself to hate that person even, right? So I feel like it just goes in so many different ways, and whatever it means for you, it's like you have to just acknowledge that like shadow side of yourself to some degree, it's like that's gonna make you feel a lot better. Okay, can I stop petting you? Because I gotta pull more cards. I feel like you're gonna jump up on the desk if I let go of you. Can you get down? Thank you. Okay. Sorry for the interruption. All right. So how can you discover how you're prosperous? Like, you have prosperity all the time. So how can you discover how you're prosperous? I tucked it. I regretted it immediately. I saw it and I was like, no. All right. How to discover your prosperity? Okay. The Fool. I feel like releasing, like just seeing, like the Fool. How am I gonna explain this? I feel as though like you see him looking above this ledge, and it's like he's seeing above the situation. So when you're sitting where you are and you're like, I can't see, it's like you have to bring yourself above. I don't know how else to explain it. You have to, it's like seeing the golden opportunities in everything that's presented to you. That's how it's like there's a golden nugget everywhere. It's like there's little hidden gems everywhere, but if you're not paying attention, you won't notice them. I don't know. I always talk about how like you can manifest money, for let's say, by getting like savings and things like that. I consider that like abundance in some sense, where if you are trying to manifest money and I don't know if this necessarily connects to prosperity. Does this connect to prosperity? Am I going off track? I don't know if I want to go down this road. I'm gonna backtrack. Anyway, I made a mistake. The Fool though does tell me like there is this they're showing me the light behind the Fool, so I feel as though it really is just seeing things in a different light and in a different perspective, and that golden opportunity that I mentioned. Let's just leave it at that. Otherwise, this reading is going to be an hour long. How can you discover your peace of mind? Ooh. By the Hanged Man. So yeah, again, a changed perspective. So I do feel like there is something here with the Death card and the 2 10s, the World card, the Fool card. There's like a new beginning, ending happening. It's like there's this cycle that's changing. And I feel as though you probably know this about your life, but it's in terms of like how to discover like a peace of mind, taking this time out to like, I don't know, I feel like you do yoga or something like that. Oh God, did I say that weird? Why did I say that weird? Yoga. If you do yoga, I feel like that's going to help you. I'm getting yoga vibes. I'm also getting just meditation vibes, and also like I feel like right now there's just goes without saying, if you're watching this like currently, which is in March of 2020, there's like this time period where there's like a lot of just like standing still, and I feel like right now is a good time to take advantage of that to some degree. I mean, it's not like, I say that with a heavy heart. I don't want to say that. It's just, I feel like there's a moment of like stillness is what I'm saying. So, I feel like during this time there's like a lot of reflection, and inner reflection is basically what my point I'm making. There is this like I'm seeing a lot of these like golden, I feel as though there's this kind of awakening. The Death card too. There's this type of like new beginning type awareness thing going on. When are you happiest? So when are you happiest? Two. I feel like when you're traveling, or when you're like out in the world, or when you're creating, because the 2 of Wands is very creative, and the 8 of Cups is on the bottom of the deck. So I definitely feel like when you're out in the world, like both of these characters have their backs to us. So it's like they're seeing out into the world. And this character literally is. So, and I feel as though like there's this feeling of having one foot out the door and like one foot in something stable. It's an interesting energy. What are you? Hey! Don't scratch the wall. Don't scratch the wall. Yeah, I'm just seeing this energy of you're happiest when you're like creating and traveling. That's really what I'm seeing. Also, maybe just like planning too. And it could be that you're happiest when you are. Why is the 8 of Cups here? That's a dangerous position. Hey, ma'am. Ma'am. Hey. Hey. Come out. Okay, well, you're in there. Why is the earplugs here? Oh, goodness. The Ace of Wands. When you're creating, highly creative. I feel like there's this energy. Ooh, yeah, there is definitely this energy. My sacral chakra just got like activated. I feel like there's this ability to really utilize your sacral to like, obviously there's, I don't know, I'm sure, I don't know how to word this, but there's the ability to, a lot of creatives do this thing where they use their sexual energy to create. And I feel like that's something that you're very capable of doing if you're not aware of that. And maybe it's something that you're learning how to do, or like maybe you've just like started learning about this. That's something that I'm really like feeling. It's like, it's a very charged energy in my sacral. Very activated, and like, yeah, this is like really phallic to me. So I'm getting like using that sexual energy to create, channeling it. And I guess like that's when you're happiest. So maybe you know that you do that already, but maybe like the energy's been misguided because it came out with the Eight of Cups. So maybe you're like walking away from how you've been misguiding the energy, and like maybe you've been more like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? So let's see. What are your hidden potentials? And then that's the end that I have. That's all I got. So let's see. What are your hidden potentials? You have the King of Swords. I love it. Wow. One more card. You have the ability to really help people through healed toxicity. Like, I feel as though at one point in your life you might have been considered toxic, or maybe like manipulative, or there's something here about just maybe there's a negative aspect here that I can definitely feel. And if you know what I'm talking about, if this speaks of you, then you know. I don't need to tell you that part. I feel as though it's it's something that you're healing. It's probably what the Death card is really representing in the world, and honestly the tens and everything. I feel as though that aspect of yourself, that what's really like your hidden potential, is you have the ability to heal other people in the way that you've healed yourself. You've been working on this. You've been really working on this, and I feel as though you are a very effective communicator, and you're very good with your words. You're a very good writer, very intelligent, very logical, very intuitive as well. So you have that spiritual connection, but the spiritual connection is not it's not in like the mainstream way. It's not. Your connection to spirit's different. And I feel as though you have these two swords here. So it's like you have this like real clear, like very clear, very clear, like, I don't know how else to explain it. It's like my ears are even ringing when I'm saying it. It's like there's just this clarity that comes through. You have perception that's extremely sharp. And that's why I think when I saw the Fool card, it's like you have that perception, but I feel as though you maybe get stuck in the disappointment, or you don't allow yourself to feel it, so then it gets trapped, and then it's like a cycle where you feel guilty for feeling it, and it's like this, it's just this constant where you're unable to like let it go. It doesn't release, and then you don't see the two cups behind you, so you don't I have cats all around me right now. You don't move on from the situation, or you don't effectively express the emotions, or you don't channel it into anything, so your creativity gets blocked. It's really all connected, and I feel as though that really it's all like been this, I feel as though it all kind of leads to you having this ability to heal other people, and maybe you're not even aware of that right now. I feel as though there's like you might still be in this Seven of Wands energy, where you have good days, you have bad days, you might still feel really in that death energy, even where you feel like everything's kind of crashing around you. The Ten of Wands, you could feel like you're carrying the weight of everything, and you're like, I don't know if I can keep up with this. Maybe you're still in that manipulative energy, and you're like, I don't know if I still want to be doing this. I don't know. Like, I know I can manipulate people, but this doesn't feel good. Like, wherever you are in this journey, I feel as though it's changing for you, and you really have this ability to be this leader. I mean, with the Hierophant and the King of Swords and the Justice card, there's this like very, very powerful very, very powerful like energy. And the Moon card popped out, which tells me that you're highly intuitive, but it's like right now there's a lot of subconscious stuff going on. It's kind of blocking your intuition. So let's see. What are your hidden potentials? Just gonna pull one more card. Yeah, the Magician. You have no wow. You have no idea how powerful you are. Like you have the ability to make anything that you like. I bet that lots of things that you think come into being. I bet it. And I bet you realize it. Like, I bet you notice it, and then you're like, no. That didn't happen. It did. It did happen, because you're the Magician with the Sun. Like, you are super powerful. You're really powerful. You're really powerful. And it's just, you have this, like, intense magic behind you. You're not even aware of it. Like, you just aren't even aware of it. Look up manifestation videos on YouTube. Look up manifestation, law of attraction. Look up law of attraction. It will really help you out. I feel like it will. Watch some like Eckhart Tolle or something like that. So like stuff like that. Just have a day on YouTube. I feel like if you don't tap into this, I don't feel like you have a choice, honestly. I feel like with the Hierophant, there's spiritual guidance that's leading you to this death and rebirth and the end of the end of the cycle, and just this new beginning for you with the Fool, the Magician. There's just this whole new energy coming into your life, and I feel like this is really the power that you're stepping into. You have this like leadership, and like you're gonna create something that's real powerful, and I feel like it's in your art, it's in like it's something that you're proud of, it's something that you feel good about, and it's something that you're working through like spirit and like the materials that you have, and it's just Like, it's just, whew, I'm tired. All right. Like, you have the Ace of Cups here, so there's this new beginning that's like going to be really, really, really satisfying for you. It's here. Like, that's the hidden potential. You have this like beautiful, loving, like, blessing that's here. If you tap into this, it's intense. There's so many major arcana cards here. You have intense energy, my friends. Really intense energy, and a lot of masculine energy here too, so take that how it resonates. Okay, I'm tired. I'm gonna go take a nap. Actually, I have more readings to do, but all right. Thank you for tuning in. This was really long. But yeah, thank you. This was a pleasure. So yeah, have a good one. Goodbye. Hello. Welcome to pile 2 if you chose the sodalite. This little pretty blue stone that I can't get enough of. I do have some sage burning, so you might see some smoke drift in front of the camera. And I'm actually going to, before I start the reading, I brought in this green apophyllite with zeolite because I felt like the reading before this one was very long, first of all, unexpectedly, very intense energy, and I needed to clear the energy a little bit before I started this reading because otherwise the energy would definitely blend into this one. So I'm going to just clear the energy with this spray too. And I picked up the growth and insight spray. So maybe you're going through like personal growth. Maybe you developing your psychic abilities. I'm feeling like a tightness in my chest. So maybe you have like really bad anxiety. But yeah, welcome to the Discover Yourself reading. So let's just look into what makes you unique first, right? And this is the only deck I have, I mean, not the only deck I have, but one of the only decks I have that it has reversals in it still. So I switch out like when I read reversals and when I don't. So I figured I picked this deck for a reason. So if they come out reversed, I'll just read intuitively if it should be reversed or not. I honestly don't, I have a weird take on reversals, so we'll just leave it at that. So like, what makes you unique? That's funny, your anxiety makes you unique. I feel as though, that's not the only thing. You have this very like, earthy energy that's very grounded, very, the energy I'm getting here is a person who knows how to take care of themselves in some way. It's like they very like grounded spiritually, very you could be really good with money. I'm really drawn to how she's like holding her purse. But also it could just be that you have like a lot of things that you deem worth protecting, and like you hold things very dear to you, and it's like you have a lot of like groundedness in your practices. And I feel as though something that's really unique to you is the fact that you are very driven towards your practices as well. Like you're very motivated and you're very diligent, you're very determined, and it's like you're kind of like this everlasting student, I feel like, where you're always learning. And it's like you're always practicing magic, or you're always furthering your craft in some way. You're always furthering your skill. You're just always learning. It's really like, I don't know, I'm seeing like lots of time spent making candles, or dressing oils, or like just writing in journals. And I don't know, just there's so much here. Candle magic's highlighted. Gardening. Also, I'm seeing someone painting. I'm seeing someone painting, and I'm seeing someone doing watercolor, and I'm seeing someone like intuitively painting. Like, that's gonna make sense to someone, but it's like you're being channeled, and then you paint what you're being channeled. I'm seeing that for someone, so that's something that makes you unique, like that ability to do that. The other thing I'm seeing is someone here has like a really strong connection to herbs. I feel like that might even be why I felt drawn to like do the sage, because although I do stuff like that, a lot of times I'll just energy cleanse the house with my Reiki, or another healing modality, like theta healing. So for me to like get the herbs, I do it for like ritual sense, but I don't do it necessarily to cleanse a space all the time. So you could have been connected to, I could have been tapping into that energy, and that could have been someone in this reading. Just saying. So there is someone here who's very connected to herbs, very connected to spells, very connected to witchcraft in general. This is a very witchy group. I feel as though, moon cycle stuff, astrology, I'm picking it all up, and I feel as though I'm going to clarify this Nine of Swords. There's something about your anxiety that makes you unique as well. I feel as though you overthink things a lot. But it's like, because it's such two extremes. You have these two, see what I'm saying? It's two extremes. It's like, maybe you feel as if sometimes you're really connected, and sometimes you feel like you just can't connect at all. I could see that. And it like makes you feel lost in some way. But I feel as though like with the Four of Pentacles, even though there's this very magical side of you, there's also this very like earthy, like you're very much grounded and very, if someone met you on the street, they wouldn't be like, oh, like they might feel like some vibe off you, but it wouldn't be necessarily like a witch. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's some vibe about you that's just like very magical, but it's different. It's like you have this whole vibe to you. It's, people feel like warm and drawn to you. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting. You could do like oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. You could do like attraction oils. I'm feeling that. My asthma's really bad, so maybe my asthma might be bad because of the sage. Never mind. Let's just leave it at the sage. So let's see. You're already pretty magical, but I feel as though this anxiety, I was going to clarify it, but I feel as though the anxiety is really based around just like feeling disconnected from your magic sometimes. So let's see how to unlock your most magical qualities and like connect like when you're feeling in that power. And also like, let's look. I feel as though there's a belief there. But let's look into it. So how to unlock your most magical qualities. You have the world reversed. Okay. I'm seeing it. So there's this message here that's like, you have this like very similar imagery to me. These like women are floating upside down, and it's the feeling that I'm getting is like, even when you're disconnected, because to me it's like their feet are pointing upwards, which is where you would, imagine source, whatever, but lightning strikes come from out of the ground too. So I don't know, I'm kind of thinking of it like, even if they're feeling upside down, it's like the bolt's going both ways. So it's kind of like changing your perspective and seeing that even if you're feeling disconnected, like you're always connected. I know that's a very strange interpretation, but like I'm just being shown a lightning bolt shooting up from the ground. So it's like, it's learning how to draw that energy out of you, I feel like it's like when you're feeling disconnected, being like, wait, I am connected, and like just bringing that bolt out of your body. I'm getting very strange imagery. But then you have the Four of Wands on the bottom, so this is like that, it really is just this, like I'm really being shown this intense imagery of like a big pillar of light being shined out of someone's body. Like just pulling it out. So that's gonna make sense to a lot of people, I'm assuming, because it's making sense in my mind. So I'm gonna just say it's making sense. There's like a celebration there that's like understanding that, like I said, even if you're feeling disconnected and upside down and like, I'm seeing her heart chakra still being connected, Or is that her heart chakra? Well, she's still like, she looks connected. So yeah, her crown's connected, even better. So yeah, I just consider it that way. The best I can do is point out the imagery. Ah! Ooh. Okay, so how can you, I feel as though a big part of tapping into anyone's magic, and I say this with regularity, is through creativity. And creativity doesn't have to just be through like the stereotypical arts. It can be through a number of different avenues. Whatever you do that you enjoy, you can be creative at, there's creative thinking in everything. So I'm going to see how you can discover your creativity and see if there's an answer there for that. Queen of Wands. Yeah. So I feel as though they're in the Nine of Cups. So yeah, I feel as though there's like this tapping into your heart chakra and also really like working your magic, like really working your magic. I feel like your magical craft is your creativity and not being afraid to really take a leap out of like the ordinary of whatever is going on around you. Like if you see like whatever you intuitively feel drawn to do with your magic, just do it. Even if it's not like what other people are doing, like do what feels right for you, because you don't have to go by a book, you don't have to go by what the internet says, you don't have to go by anyone says on anywhere. Like just do what feels right for you and tap into that inner essence of like your own magic, because that's your creativity. Yeah, I see like as you do that, your heart space just, it expands, and it's like you feel a lot of contentment, you know. It's just a lot of like happiness, a lot of happiness. You'll feel kind of like free in a sense, as if you like as you create, you open yourself up more and more. You'll feel a lot more like in your like, this is what I'm meant to be doing, and I like doing this, and I found something that I'm like, like it's that sort of energy. Yeah. I feel as though it's like, also you could have other people like teaching other people the things that you do. I'm seeing this as like having an audience. So that's true as well for some of you. So how can you discover your compassion? And the Queen of Wands is a very compassionate queen. So I feel as though the more you tap into your magic, the more you're like going to be tapping into like your warmth and the more you tap into your creativity and your emotions with that Nine of Cups, you're going to be naturally tapping into your compassion as well. The Six of Cups is on the bottom of the deck, which is funny because it was on the bottom of the deck before I shuffled as well. So I feel as though to tap into your compassion, it's like there's this inner child work that's being done, and also like connecting with family, or even like connecting with family, connecting with a possible like your partner. It could be a lot of different things. It's like the way you connect with people around you is also, I'm seeing like a way to tap into your compassion. I don't know, it's interesting. I feel as though like you're very this is interesting because it's not how I normally see this card, but it's like I feel as though you are very compassionate with yourself, but it's almost like you struggle with allowing others in or something like that. And I feel as though like even within your family, you are working on being compassionate in that way. So take that how it resonates. But I'm getting the feeling that that's like the way you approach your family, and the way you approach like your kids, or the way you approach your nieces, your nephews, or your friends' kids, or just anyone, you know, like that, any child, your inner child. Like I said, there's a couple of different aspects to that card. Yeah. And then I don't take them if they fall on the floor. I don't know. I don't like taking them if they fall on the floor. Okay, so how to discover your prosperity. I'm glad this one's it's going a little bit smoother. It's not that it's going smoother, it's maybe I'm just being more proficient in my reading. The other reading was just long. It might have taken on my energy. I don't know. I feel like maybe honestly, it's not that I don't have energy right now. It's that this is you. And like, I feel this. This is like, I feel very grounded. I feel like my root is like, I can feel my root. Like, I feel very grounded. Yeah, you guys are it's very different energy than the first reading. The first reading felt kind of like up here, so this one is more grounded. Interesting. I don't know. Okay. So how to discover your prosperity. So with prosperity, I feel like it's all around you all the time, and it's like what the Queen of Wands is showing too. You know, you have like everything at your reach, but it's just like how you reach out and grab it. So how to discover your prosperity, how to like acknowledge it, because with the Sun and the World reversed, I feel like you're not seeing it, right? And with the Nine of Swords. So how to discover your prosperity. You have the Eight of Swords, so yeah, not seeing it. But then you have Judgment on the bottom, so I like how you go from this to like this. Really powerful imagery. I feel like blackbirds follow you. I feel like blackbirds in a way kind of represent like your fears and your anxieties, because the way they're showing, like maybe they appear when you're anxious to like kind of give you a sign of hope. Like they're kind of trying to untie you, you know? They're trying to like remind you that you're connected, because I'm even seeing that like spirit, you know? I just feel there's this essence of like they're trying to free you, you know? They could be like your guides, your guides, you know? Judgment's always like a total rebirth, awakening, new day is here, releasing, you know, stepping away from those limiting beliefs that you can't do the things you want to do. I mean, I feel as though the blockage here is like you wanting to create, you wanting to create something but not feeling connected to spirit all the time, you being anxious about like your connection and feeling as though you don't always have that connection, and it's like it's fleeting in some way, but recognizing that like you are always connected. Sorry, I feel as though that's like part of it. Kind of it's also like surrendering to it's okay to not always feeling connected. Like I think that's also here. It's like the way I'm feeling this energy here is this person is like, okay, so I don't feel connected. And then kind of in that sense, like that is the drawing up of that lightning bolt. And like this person, I really do see that image of like just drawing something up, and it's like lifting, you know, that energy out of you. If like spirit won't come to you, you'll go to spirit. I don't know who said that, but that was funny. Oh my god. So how can you discover your peace of mind? Because this person, like, you go from a very stressed out place to a very surrendered place. So how can you discover that peace of mind? You have the Eight of Wands reversed. I feel like being okay with you're not always gonna know everything. Like, it's okay that you don't always know everything. It's okay that you don't always have the answers. It's okay that you can't see into the future. Like, it's okay. Like, you can know certain things. Sure, you can have a strong intuition. You can see certain things. Absolutely. Like, absolutely. But you can't know everything. And I feel like that's like, it's okay to not know everything. No one can know everything. We're not designed to know everything. That's just fact. Our brains can't handle it. So I feel like just acknowledging that and just acknowledging that will help you kind of come to this place of peace. Like, when you're trying, like, what are you trying to do when you're trying to know everything? Are you trying to control the situation? Because I feel like maybe that's what's going on, right? So I feel like that's kind of part of the surrendering that's happening. It's like, what's the fear here? Like, the fear of not being connected. Okay, well, what's the worst thing about not being connected? Just what's the worst thing about, like, why is it a problem to not be connected? And ask yourself that. Genuinely, like, ask yourself, like, well, why am I worried about that? And then when you get that answer, ask yourself why again. And ask yourself why again. Ask yourself why a couple of times. And see, when you get to the bottom of it, what is the cause of, what's the belief? Because there's a belief there. There's a limiting belief. And you'll find it. But you have to keep asking yourself why you believe the thing you believe. Like, why do I think that? Why do I think that? Why do I think that? Oh, that's why I think that. Oh my God, that's why I think that. And then when you get to that bottom belief, you have to kind of work at finding the opposite that's true. And when you find the opposite that's true, you have to just keep reminding yourself of that. Like, when you have that limiting belief, the thing is, you're gonna have that belief again, and then you're gonna be like, oh wait, I know, this is that bottom belief. And then when you have that bottom belief, you're gonna remind yourself of the opposite. And you have to do that over and over and over again. You have to just constantly remind yourself that's not true, that's not true, that's not true. And then finally, your brain makes a new connection. Because right now, your brain is in this very deep ridge that believes one thing. And you can change it, but you have to do it gradually, and you have to do it consistently. And it takes effort, but that's how you do it. And I feel like that's a little bit of life coaching for you, honestly. It's like, you want to find a peace of mind. Why do you want to be so connected all the time? Not everyone's always connected. I hate to say that, but it's just true. Not everyone's always connected. So if you feel like your magic is fleeting, ask yourself why that's a problem. And ask yourself, why does this bring me stress in my life? Why does this bring me discontentment? Why is this a problem? If it's not making you happy or bringing you joy, then you can work on it and you can get rid of it. That's just how I see it. So, when are you the happiest? The star reversed. That's interesting. Excuse me. I think you are happiest when you are not connected. I think you're happiest when it's not that you're not connected. It's when you're not worried about not being connected. It's like when you're not connected, or it's like when you have that natural connection, right? It's in the background. It's like the natural magic that happens in life that just kind of flows effortlessly, that you're not like trying to seek out, or you're not trying to like force into your life. It's like that natural flow, and like it's when you're completely in like harmony with yourself, and then like the universe just kind of responds to it. That's when you're happiest. So it's not necessarily about being connected. It's about having the answers that you want and seeking the control. That's what I would say. But it could be different for someone else. I don't know, just gonna say it. And I'm not trying to drag anyone. I just heard someone be like, she's dragging me. But like, I'm not trying to drag anyone. It's just, sometimes life coaching is pointing out where you need that adjustment. I don't know how else to say it. Let's just say that. So what are your hidden potentials? What are your hidden potentials? I feel as though, I'm going to turn these up right. I don't feel right reversed. I feel as though you have this really strong ability to create unity within your magic, and also like bring people together somehow. And also it's like you've been through painful situations in terms of family, in terms of love, in terms of personal struggles, whatever they may be. And I feel as though you've really overcome them with the Six of Swords here. You've really like learned how to turn your back on a lot of painful things. Look at these crows again. They're like pulling you to safety. So I feel as though you have this magical ability to connect, and through your ability to connect, you navigate your life. And I feel like with the Six of Swords, it's like, and with the Two of Cups, you have this ability to harmonize your life in that way, where it's like you can bring people together, you can bring a lot of just balance into your life through your connection, and through even like your understanding of your connection to spirit, to the magical realm, to whatever you believe in. I feel like there's quite a lot of witches here, so I've just been assuming that everyone's kind of in this spiritual realm. This is definitely like a group of very creative people, very magical people, very grounded people. I feel as though you're very practical, and I feel as though you've been through a lot, and I feel like your connection to spirit has really helped you through a lot of things. And I feel like that's also where when you have that disconnection, it's like you feel lost, because it's like spirit's helped you through so much, and it's like maybe when you don't have that spirit, that connection to spirit, it's like you feel like you're losing everything again, and you don't want to go back to that dark place. The Nine of Swords can speak of very dark mental places, and the Six of Swords can speak of coming out of those dark mental places. The Sun can speak of, having not so bright days. I feel like when the Two of Cups came out reversed, it really spoke of having this disharmony within yourself, and I turned it up right because I feel like your hidden potential is the fact that you do have that ability to harmonize. You have that ability to heal too. This is like a very healing card. It's the forces of yourself coming together in order to really mend and heal others too. I feel like you have this great ability to heal others. However that looks for you, through your connection to spirit, you do have this really wonderful ability to heal. Your magic is very, very healing. So I think some of you need to, like, maybe you don't believe in that, or maybe you struggle with that belief because you have these doubts and fears about how connected you are, or whether your abilities are there or not. Maybe it's not even that they're there or not. I feel as though some of you have been practicing for a long time, so you have quite a bit of confidence, but it's just like sometimes you just feel this like emptiness from spirit, and you're like, why? Like, why do I feel this emptiness? And it might not necessarily be the limiting belief that I talked about, but there is some sort of fear or belief that's there for you that is worth investigating. I feel like the star really does talk about finding some hope even when you're not connected, finding the ability to, like I said, draw it out of you. So this is what I have for you. This ended up being a long reading too, but it's okay. I enjoyed doing it. This is really lovely. I hope this had a message for you. I hope it helped in some way. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good one. Bye! Hello, Group 3. So, if you chose this honey calcite, this is your reading. And I will admit, I took a little bit of a break between pile 2 and pile 3. Like, it's the same night, but just took a little bit of a break. The first 2 piles had quite an intense energy, so I'm actually going to spray the same spray I sprayed between group 1 and 2, because I just feel as though if I don't, the energy is just gonna kind of linger. It was really intense energy for both readings. So I'm sure this one will be intense too. So I love this deck. Okay. First thing we're going to look into, group 3, is what makes you unique. I'm hearing drums. Like drumming music. Drumming music. Just drums. I'm also seeing like tapestries and really colorful patterns, like geometric patterns. I'm seeing quilts too, honestly. I'm seeing like I'm seeing very specifically like a rainbow quilt pattern. It's for somebody. So let's see. What makes you unique? You could be like, you could make quilts or something like that, I feel like. What makes you unique? Wow. There's like 2 cards in the tarot deck that have scales in them. I think there's 2. I think there's just 2. And you got both of them. So what makes you unique is that you are very balanced. Like you are, and I feel that in the energy. Like when I was trying to tap into it at first, I was trying to see like, usually there's like some direction in which you can pull in. But you were just like very, it was like looking out at a lake that was just totally glass-like. That was the kind of image I was seeing. So I feel as though you have this ability to balance and nourish yourself in a way that's like very balancing. And it's just like the 6 of Pentacles is nourishing this plant. So I feel as though you have this way to nurture and give without depleting yourself, and without like you're very balanced in your giving. You have that ability within you. I feel as though you have good boundaries. With Justice, I also feel as though you have the ability to really approach things from a fair place. It's like you see the world from a very open heart. That's how I see it. It's like I'm feeling like you are kind of like an angel on earth almost. It's like, you're like an angel. It's really, again, intense energy. Very powerful. You also have this ability to, you're very giving. You might give to charity. You might just donate your time, donate your resources, donate your wisdom, donate anything that you can in order to help others. You're very giving, you're very caring, you have this like healing, nurturing, motherly energy to you. Even if you are not a woman, it's just this nurturing, that type of energy, you know? I feel as though you've undergone a lot of transformations in the last couple of years, and I feel as though you have the ability to transform yourself given any situation. It's like you can take your experiences and you can use them to bring yourself into a new understanding of yourself. That's part of the Justice card here. And I also feel as though you're very surrounded by little angels, just like all these little butterflies are surrounding her. I feel as though you're just surrounded by like little angels and guides. Like, I don't know why they're little, but they're just all around you. Again, like you have that angel essence too. So, it could be that you have a lot of angelic support. So how can you unlock your most magical qualities? I have this Ten of Wands. So right now I feel as though, let's see. Yeah, it's like, I feel like right now you're carrying kind of everything with you. It's like you have this, I love this imagery so much. You have, these are really powerful cards, okay. You have this ability to carry a lot with you, and it's like you see this kingdom that you want, right? Like, it's like this image in your mind. It's something that you've built up. It's something that you are carrying with you. It's like you carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, that sort of energy. Literally, like you're carrying everything around with you. You could carry the weight of other people around with you as well. The Tower came out with it, and I love this imagery because it's like, I feel as though with the Ten of Wands, it often speaks about letting go of, like, learning how to let go of the Ten of Wands. Like, in the traditional tarot, the man is carrying the 10 wands, and all he has to do is just put them down. She's rooted to this, but like, if you look at it in this Tower perspective, it's like something coming in and forcing the weight off of her shoulders. So that's how I'm seeing it. It's like there's this releasing of whatever it is that's like coming onto your shoulders, and really to tap into that most magical quality of yourself, it's like releasing the pressure that you've put on yourself to perform. Because I feel like there's this energy of wanting to create and wanting to make this empire, literally this empire, but in order to build the empire, it's like something has to be dismantled a little bit. And then it's like you have this leap of faith that's here, this new beginning, you know, this this ending of this cycle with the Ten of Wands and the Tower, and then you have this Fool card where it's like stepping in and taking in this whole new fresh breath of air. It's like she goes from this position to this position. So I feel like that's really, it's like breaking free. You know, there's something here that needs to be broken free from. There's a responsibility on your shoulder. There's an expectation that you've placed over yourself. There's something that is on your shoulders that is very much, and I feel as though it might even be the expectation you've put on yourself to perform with your creativity, or your, maybe not even your creativity, because the wands can speak of creativity, but it could also speak of how much you give to other people. Maybe right now that's a little bit imbalanced, whereas you have the ability to balance it out and be very balanced. It's like, right now maybe you're giving too much, and it's like you are carrying the weight of everyone's problems on your shoulders, and that needs to kind of be dismantled. And it's like asking yourself, okay, well, why am I trying to fix everyone? Like, I don't need to fix everyone's problems, and kind of carrying that mantra around with you where you're like, I don't need to fix everyone. You have this Temperance card, which talks about really balancing the elements in your life, and also really like learning when to step in and when to kind of remain passive, and when to be in a giving and receiving state. It's very much like the middle of the road energy. I feel as though this is kind of a taking a time out, taking a moment to recollect your ideas. And also the Temperance card really to me speaks about gathering your it's like this also speaks of balance, and I feel like this is you kind of gathering the sides of yourself, and it's like recollecting what's yours and what's not yours, and learning how to take what is yours and what's not yours, and like working with it in a sense. I hope that's making sense to somebody. But yeah, it's really just really going with the flow of things too, because you have this Nine of Cups as well, and the Nine of Cups in this deck is really like opening your heart but keeping it at the same time kind of shielded, because if you can see really closely, like there is this like outpouring from his heart into this cup, but it's like in a very confined space. So even though he's giving, it's like it's like it's in a boundary, you know. And I feel as though with all these fish around, it's like there's a boundary being kind of kept up, even though it's like it's to keep yourself content and like safe and happy. Yeah, that's. I feel as though you have the ability to transform your life, like your ability to like right now you might feel kind of taken advantage of. You might feel as though like people are reliant on you for something, or you might feel as though you are maybe people are like dependent on you for money, or even like just time and resources in some sense. But I feel as though there's this, again, like a way of putting up boundaries in some sense that comes in. When you put up boundaries, it's really incredible how you stand in this like essence of yourself, and you really project this magical quality of you as well. I feel as though that's you really like projecting your heart in a way. So how to discover your creativity? Because I do feel creativity in this deck. In this pile? This deck. I'm burping. I always say I burp in readings because I'm connected to the energy. I say this like in every reading. I apologize. It's very strange, I know. It's just whenever I do energy work, I burp. Let's just go with it. So how to discover your creativity. You have the 10 of Cups. I feel like this really speaks of using your emotions in terms of driving your creativity. If you're feeling blocked creatively, transmuting those, like any emotions that you feel at all into something creative. If you feel pain, you can transmute it. If you feel anxiety, you can transmute it. If you feel distressed, you can transmute it. If you feel happy, you can transmute it. If you feel in love, you can transmute it. If you feel anything, I feel as though there's this connection to the heart and also like a connection to community here. Sorry. There's definitely a connection to community and the people around you. I feel as though sharing your ideas, sharing your art too, honestly. I feel like there's like, when it comes to your creativity, it might be a little, you're not a normal person. Like, you're not a normal person. That's just, you're the 3 of Wands. I saw the 3 of Wands, you're the 3 of Wands. The 3 of Wands is kind of a weirdo. And I mean that in like not a negative way at all. It's just like someone who steps outside the bounds of society in some way. It's somebody who doesn't fit inside the box and breaks kind of the rules, you know? It's like, it's a rule breaker. It's somebody who sees a new way of, it's a new way of seeing. It's a new way of thinking. It's a new way of exploring things, a new way of creating. And I feel as though with your creativity, you have to dare to step outside the box a little bit. It's like using your emotions, yes, but then also daring to take that step and put yourself out there into that community. Because if people don't see it, then like, it's not that you need to make the art to be seen. That's not what I'm saying. And I'm using art in a very, very broad sense. It doesn't need to just be like drawing and painting. It doesn't need to be just music or anything like that. Art can be anything. Anything. So whatever it is that you're creating in the world, I feel as though there's a sense of sharing it with somebody. Like, at least sharing your idea with somebody. Like, just even your best friend, or your partner, or your family member, or a coworker, or your therapist, or a mentor, or somebody. Just share, or your journal even. Like, just sharing your idea with somebody, and getting some feedback in it. Like, because I feel like that's just how you're going to discover more of how you work, is like just by developing it more. I feel like you're already pretty tapped into it in some ways, so I feel like it's a matter of you just discovering more of it and developing it more. I hope that's making sense. So how to discover your compassion. There's a lot of compassion in these 9 of Cups and 10 of Cups. Excuse me. How to discover your compassion. You have the Empress. I feel like I did another reading today that had very similar cards to this. So I feel like through the pain that you've felt, with this Three of Swords on the bottom, this is like real painful again. There's something that you have like gone through that has been very, very painful, very significant, like a very significant loss. And I feel as though moving forward, you are really tapping into that, remember that nurturing energy that I mentioned in the beginning? That's really the Empress coming through. You have that ability to nurture yourself, and it's just a matter of really tapping into that, like the nurturing energy that you give to others, giving it to yourself. I feel like that might be a spot of, I don't want to say it's a struggle for some of you, but it's something that you don't go to first. So that might be something to be aware of. And it's like when you find yourself talking to yourself negatively or in a harsh tone, bringing it back to, how would I talk to someone else? Like, you know, just reminding yourself, gently, always gently. Again, more butterflies are like in this card too. So I do feel as though there's like lots of little, I don't know, and you might see a lot of butterflies. That might be like an image that follows you around. Like maybe when you're driving a car, like there's a bumper sticker that's a butterfly, or like when you're in the grocery store, you just happen to see the one package with a butterfly on it, and you're like, why did that stand out to me? You know, it's like that sort of energy. I don't know, I like it. So how to discover your prosperity? Because I feel like with all these butterflies around you, and this Six of Pentacles especially, there's prosperity all around you. And prosperity doesn't just relate to money. It means a lot of things. Resources, love, abundance. Just, it's like a way of thinking in a way. So how to discover your prosperity that's just like at your fingertips. Because I feel like with the Nine of Cups, the Ten of Cups, it's just like right within your reach, you know? And even with this Empress, it's like right there. So how to discover your prosperity. You have the Strength card. So I feel as though there's an old way of thinking that needs to be, or an old emotional pattern, or an old way of dealing with emotions, or an old something there's something from the past that needs to just kind of be like moved away from a little bit. Just a little bit. It's kind of just this, it's like this feeling that you might sink yourself down into this pit where you're like, I give myself away, and or not, like, how do I want to put this? It's like maybe when you give, you give a lot, and you, with this Ten of Wands energy and the Tower energy, I feel as though you sometimes have the tendency to like overgive, and you have the ability to like set the boundary and walk away from it because you have this Eight of Cups on the bottom. And with the Strength card, it's telling me that you really have this ability to tap into your confidence and tap into this like internal place, really, where it's like you just know who you are, and you know what you can give and what you can walk away from, and what it's like you have this like bravery about you. And I feel like I'm getting two energies. It's like there's something that you have been walking away from. It's not necessarily that you need to walk away from it. Sorry if it's like a little confusing. It's just there is this it's like you're tapping into your bravery in order to notice your prosperity. It's like in order to notice your prosperity, there's kind of this like taming of the ego and kind of like noticing what your idea of prosperity is and kind of seeing like what you create and what you need, that sort of thing. Walking away from your idea of what's good enough and seeing like what you truly desire with that 9 of Cups, the 10 of Cups, what's going to truly bring you contentment, even if things aren't perfect, right? There's like a taming of the ego happening. There's it's funny, like when I talk about ego work, I never think you need to erase the ego. I never think you need to quiet it, silence it, none of that. It's more about integrating it with that Temperance card. It's about integrating it into who you are. So it's like you become this type of like magical, like, I don't know, this is just such magical energy. I can't explain it. It's very powerful. It's interesting, whereas pile 1 had very masculine energy, this has very feminine energy. It's like very divine feminine. So I feel as though this is a divine feminine really releasing the burden of having to carry the weight of everything that they've been carrying, honestly. And that's just how it feels. Whew. Intense. So let's see. How to discover a peace of mind. How to discover a peace of mind. You have the Queen of Wands, the 9 of Wands on the bottom. Again, I'm getting this like sense of bravery and also just sharing your talents, again, is coming up in this card. I feel like there's... The Queen of Wands came up in the last pile too, so some of you could have come over for this reading, which is funny. I was feeling that when I was shuffling the cards too. I feel as though there's like this energy of maybe connecting with music or just connecting somehow to the divine, or it's like there's... The Queen of Wands is a very spiritual person to me, like very spiritual. So I feel as though there's like a very spiritual element here, and like you developing a peace of mind is essentially like connecting to spirit in some way, and you developing your connection to spirit if you're not already connected to spirit, if you're not from group 2. Sorry. I feel as though through your creative endeavor, through whatever you're doing, it's just funny, I think creativity has come up in every reading, but I think that's just a theme. I think it's just a theme. Whatever it is that you're doing and expressing yourself in and like creating in the world, however that shows up for you, I feel as though that is how you discover your peace of mind. It's like there is that transmutation of energy, you know? That came up in the pile too as well. So it's the same kind of energy. I feel as though very similar energy. When are you the happiest? I think the Queen of Wands came out in the same position too. That's interesting. So when are you the happiest? When are you the happiest? I feel like you're the happiest when you're going against authority. You have this chariot, which talks, like, you have 2 sevens, so you are definitely a person who knows how to transform their life and is very determined to do so when they see fit. Very much determined to make anything happen in their life. And not just determined, but like victorious in doing so. You might not always have the control that you want over what's going on, but you know how to get there. And I feel like you kind of like when you're going in your own direction and when you're doing your own thing and when no one can tell you to stop or what to do, and you're just like, you know, the Seven of Swords is kind of telling me that, like, the Seven of Swords is not liking authority. It's like having, like, it's successfully turning your back on authority. So there's something about, like, the way society is run that you don't like. And whenever you can, like, go against society, it's like, I like that. And I feel like that's you running away from, like, society norms. It's very Aquarius. Very Aquarius. Also, like, pretty Sagittarius too, honestly. Like, I'm feeling Sagittarius energy for some reason. So, I don't know, I feel as though there's just this, like, energy of, and I know that that's not what these cards are normally. I know. That's just the energy that I'm feeling. There's definitely, I feel like let me clarify. I feel as though there's something here about, like, the Seven of Swords and the King of Swords, or the King of Cups. I feel like that would normally be pretty nasty energy, right? Like, I'm feeling it, but I don't. My heart is sore. Like, when I read this energy, my heart just hurts. It's like, I'm wondering why this makes you happiest. I feel like there could be, there could just be some of you are Cancers, and some of you are dealing with Scorpios, or vice versa. I feel that really strongly. Yeah, I feel like some of you are definitely dealing with Scorpios. And I feel like the Scorpio situation it makes you happy. It makes you happy. And this is when you are happiest. You are very, the King of Cups is like so much love. It's so much love. But I feel as though there is something in the situation that's like, you see it you deem it worth protecting, even though this person is hidden. They're hiding their heart. So take that how it resonates. it's like you see this as a big opportunity, and it's like you're looking at it very hopefully. So and with the Chariot, I feel as though, like, with the determination that's there, this is like, no, this is gonna happen. Like, this is gonna happen. I don't freaking care about this. Like, it's, you have the control over the situation in some sense. It's like you're guiding it. So I feel as though anyone who is relating to this they know that. And the signs don't have to resonate for you. You don't have to be a Cancer. You don't have to be dealing with a Scorpio. But I just have to read what I see. That's for someone. That's for sure. So I'm gonna pull another card for when you're happiest, because that feels like it's taking you out of your power, which goes back to the earlier cards, right? So I don't feel comfortable with that. As your life coach, I don't feel comfortable with that. So when are you the happiest? I feel like there's something here about going after something that can't reach you back, or something like that. It's like, I feel very shaky all of a sudden, which is interesting. There's just this, like, emotional unavailability within these two cards that I pulled. There's the Four of Cups and the Eight of Cups, and both of them are two mermaids kind of, like, looking the same direction. Like, just, the energy is just, it's like you're waiting for something that's, it's like you've been waiting for something, and when you're happiest is when you're taking back that power that you know you can bring anything into your life, that determination that's in the Chariot. Like, that's your energy. So it's like you're also in the King of Cups. You have this giant heart. So I feel as though there's something here about, like, you recognizing what that determination behind it is, like what it is that you want, what it is that you desire, and if you're going after it, or if you're, like, what are you creating in your life, essentially. There's something here that's just, I don't know, there's a disconnect somewhere. And I feel as though, like, with the Eight of Cups, it's like I'm almost getting this chasing energy, and what are you chasing? What are you chasing? I didn't expect this answer out of this question, so I feel as though this is something like it's something for you to work on. It's like where you're giving your power away almost, because it's like I'm asking, but like I'm asking your higher self, and your higher self is even giving, like, the answer of what needs to be worked on, essentially. That's how I'm seeing it. So take that how it resonates for you. There's something here that is definitely like that Eight of Cups came up twice. So there's something that's needing recognizing and movement from. Whether it's a belief or a situation or whatever. So what are your hidden potentials? This also could be like a way that you're looking at things emotionally too. Maybe like you're giving too much of your heart away. You know, that could also be it. Maybe the Seven of Swords talks about protecting your heart. That could also be it. there's some sort of a struggle with giving your heart away that I can feel. I feel as though there's like this overgiving, and it's like you're trying to show yourself, but nothing. It's like the force that comes back is just static almost. It's an interesting feeling. So what are your hidden potentials? What are your hidden potentials? So yeah, again, the Three of Wands came out. Three of Wands. You are this total weirdo. Like, own up to your weirdoness. Your weirdness? Your weirdness. Your weirdo-ness, though. Like, honestly, just, there's something here that's very creative and very intuitive. Not intuitive. Oh gosh, what's the word? Oh my god, I'm having a blank. I don't know what the word is right now. But it's, you're a pioneer. That's basically what I'm saying. It's like, you have this vision that you can create anything, and it's like you are outside the box, and it's just like, be okay with being outside the box. There's just this potential. The Three of Wands is, there's this huge horizon out in front of you, and the ships are coming sailing in. So you have so much infinite potential, and all of it can come in towards you. So that's how I see it. So let's see. So what are your hidden potentials? As long as it's like you have to step into that. This is like very much like a solar plexus card for me. When you step into that like solar plexus energy, you really own into who you are, and you're like, oh yeah, this is who I am. I forgot. Like, it's fun. It's fun. So what are your hidden potentials? And then you have the Nine of Wands. So I feel as though you have a lot of potential to really set those firm boundaries that are spoken about. You have this ability to really lead by example, and you have this ability to create victories out of any situation that you're involved in. Yeah, I feel as though like you can always turn out victorious. Like, that's just the energy. Like, that's something about you that you might not be aware of. But like tapping into this kind of, this energy is like important to do that. Yeah, this is what I have for you. I hope this resonates for you. This is much longer than the other readings, but that's okay. Yeah, thank you so much. I hope you have a good one. Bye.